Here we have a 2013 GMC Terrain Denali. Has the 3.6 liter V6 engine, all-wheel drive. Obviously, as you can tell, this is going to be a salvage title, repairable vehicle. All the damage here is in the front. First off and foremost, the frame rails, as you can see here, look straight. I don't see any problems whatsoever with the frame rails. The front impact bar is a little bit twisted, but you can see the front facings where the front impact bar bolts on. You know, that side there looks perfect. This side here, it's just this outer tab that's kind of smushed in a little bit. In other words, this side here looks really good. The front core support, you know, this is a three-piece section. It all comes as one when you buy it new. It looks like to me the passenger side is perfectly fine. Maybe just, you know, this looks fine. Obviously this piece here is separate from the core support, but I'd say this side is fine. The center piece is fine. Maybe just the driver's side here you'd want to replace. It could be saved, I guess, if you're really trying to build this cheap, but I personally would replace it. Now when this hit, something went in right through here, you know, broke the radiator. Of course the condensers broke the line. But we cut off the line here and then just spliced in a rubber hose so it's not leaking any more transmission fluid, and it can be driven. And then right there, one wire was broken. We had to put a connector in there just so that way it will run and drive right now. Looks pretty ugly, but most of it's pretty easy fix. The front fender here, of course, is damaged. The bottom there is broke off. I believe it was just the lower A-arm in here. Lower A-arm broke. And when the A-arm broke, the rim came back and hit back in here in the door area. So as you can see, I mean, unless you're really good and cheap, you know, you could pull that back and straighten out the door if you really wanted to, but again, I would just replace the door. The door itself also has a dent back here. You know, that could easily be hammered back out again if you're trying to save some money. Worst part of this, or I shouldn't say worst, but the most annoying part of this vehicle for me was when we got it, we saw that, oh, where is it here? You can see there, someone has, that's the muffler, and there's no pipe going forward until right there. Somebody at some point cut out the rear catalytic converter. There's one on eBay for $1.99 or best offer. The front catalytic converters, as you can see down in here, that's the front side, but the front catalytic converters are there, but somebody stole the rear. The other thing is, I don't believe you can see it. You can see the motor mount down here is fine. It looks fine anyway, as far as I can tell. And I believe it's this one here. Of course, they're aluminum. They do break easy. But the aluminum motor mount broke. And then, of course, as you can see, the battery here has got a kink in it. So that's why I have to have my jump pack hooked up to it in order to keep it running. So you will need a battery as well. And there is at least one broken motor mount. I apologize, I now have to go pretty quick. My battery's about to die here on my camera. We do have, you know, like your front bumper cover. Most of that's not good, but it will have the small stuff to it, as far as the bezel, the fog light, so on. In the rear here, we have the backup camera. Of course, it has power rear lift gate. And we've got all the parts from the crash itself. The rim and tire from the front, it's no good. You will need a different rim. Not sure if the tire is good or not. Don't see any scuffs or scratches back here. course, both curtain airbags, we cut them out just so that way a person could see around in the vehicle a little bit better. But both curtain airbags did deploy, as well as the driver wheel airbag. And this fender would have been good, you know, it's probably savable if you're trying to save a budget, but there's a little kink right there and a little bit right here in the front corner. But usually where they get damaged is back here pretty bad, and there's nothing there at all. That's just a little water. In other words, I don't see any damage on the fenders here. And the hood's got a little bit of a kink in it there. In other words, the hood looks fine. Windshield's not cracked. No roof damage. And we'll come inside the vehicle. Go ahead. Of course, it's loud because the catalytic converter is disconnected and the front or the muffler is not hooked up at all. Let's go ahead and shut the doors there. Now you can hear me a little bit. See, everything else seems to work fine. Brake fluid is low, and the reason why the engine's in a reduced engine power obviously is because your exhaust isn't hooked up. But you can see I can rev it just fine. Service StabiliTrak, change oil, brake fluid low, engine power, of course hood open, service airbags. 14,755 miles are on it. Go ahead and shut it off. Does have collision alert. Bluetooth. Of course, it'll have all your heated seats, lighted door sills down here for the Denali package. Moonroof. Of course, the Denali leather seats. Down in here, of course, we have your USB for your radio. Wood grain steering wheel and shifter. And that concludes our Denali. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to email us. I'll walk around a little bit more and try to point out some more, but I'm sure my battery's gonna die. So again, kind of going over, I do have a front bumper cover. I've actually got about a dozen of them. I do not know if I have them in this color or not. This color, if you can tell here, it's like a black metallic. Like I said, I've got the upper front bumper cover. I do not have the lower bumper cover. I can give you a front upper bumper cover included with the vehicle. Depending upon our purchase price, I do have a set of curtain airbags I may be willing to include as well. We built quite a few of these. I can tell you they're pretty simple to put together. Doesn't appear to be any front frame damage whatsoever. You know, you could probably save the front impact bar. I would personally replace that. At the very least, replace this here. And I might actually have just a driver's side section of this that I can give you as well. I would have to look in there, look and see what we have. But if I have it, and if you're only wanting to replace just the driver's side third of the upper radiator support, I'll give it to you. Front impact bar again, or the front upper center support, you could save. And this side here, you could save. So you'll need at least one fender. It's up to you what you want to do with the door. Again, I would personally replace the door, but it's entirely up to you. I do have a driver wheel airbag. I can tell you I'll include the front upper bumper cover. I'm not positive if it's right in color or not, but I'll give you a front upper bumper cover. The curtain airbags, I usually sell them for $2.25 a piece, so that's $2.25 for these. And then I've got a driver wheel airbag. I'd have to double check my price, but I believe $400 on the wheel airbag. You'll need a rim for the passenger front corner here. And I can tell you the reason why it's got low brake fluid is because this fitting here was loose. I don't see any damage to it whatsoever, but that fitting was loose for some odd reason. So I think somebody was trying to take the suspension apart for some odd reason there. You will need, as I can see right here, there's a broken sway bar link right there on the tip of my finger. That's the sway bar link end right here. That's supposed to connect down there. Again, you'll need the rear catalytic converter. Just make sure you find one for the 3.6 liter GMC Terrain engines. I do not believe the 3.0 liters will work, so I believe you got to be 3.6 liter engine, 2013, 2014 models. Just a little cruddy stuff from the battery acid. You can see the hole in the battery there. So that battery acid kind of leaked out over some of this stuff, causing it to get a little discolored, so it'll need a little cleanup. Of course, you're going to need a radiator and a condenser. Some miscellaneous parts. You know, your AC line here, tranny line down here. I guess there is a chunk a little bit out of that rim. It's not terrible, but it's there. In the back, I'll kind of do a little closer look. Looks like my battery's lasting a little longer than I thought. See, we've got the bezel here. Not much is really good back here. Maybe the wheel liners can be saved. Of course, you know, your emblem's broke, the front grille is broke. What we cut out of the airbags, a couple of your little rocker moldings, that appears to be good. The headlight's damaged. Should probably save some bulbs out of it if you bought a used one that doesn't have bulbs in it. Otherwise, there really isn't anything else I can tell you about this vehicle. Glad my battery lasted. I could show you as much as I can possibly show you. So if you have any questions, feel free to email us. Thank you.